Hi everyone, I'm Roxy.
And I'm Phoebe, and together we run a design studio that specializes in murals. Yes, that's right, murals, like with painted coveralls and on walls and all of that stuff.
We are artists, professionally, which seems really crazy and rare, right? Oh my god, a professional artist.
Well, look around this room. It's not just a box with a door, it has character. It was designed by an artist. Same with that chair you're sitting in, the carpeting, all designed by artists, the clothes you're wearing. How boring would Netflix be if instead of engaging titles and eye-catching pictures, it was just uniform black boxes with white type?
Same thing with your music. Music is not visual, yet Spotify is filled with visuals. Album and playlist covers show you the mood of the music you're about to listen to. When you go to the store to buy wine,
Which we do a lot.
what draws you in first? It's the label, which is art. Same thing with the apps you use, the car you drive, your phone, the card you send your friend on their birthday. Artists were using all those things. There are artists in every single industry. They're everywhere.
And these are just examples of visual art. Don't even get us started on acting, producing music, dancing. We'd be here for days.
Now imagine a world without any of those things. Without artists, life would be extremely boring.
I'm sure many of you remember loving to paint or draw as a child, or telling your parents or teachers or whoever you looked up to that you wanted to be an artist when you grew up. And when a child does that, what do they typically get in response? Honey, you don't want to be a starving artist. Why don't you do something more stable, like a doctor or a lawyer, or maybe even an accountant? That was always my grandpa's go-to. Make art your hobby. We've all heard it.
We were on a plane almost exactly a year ago. We were on a high because we just finished up our biggest project to date. We had landed a $50,000 job painting murals in Houston. That was more than Phoebe and I had each been making in an entire year at our full-time jobs before we decided to quit and start our own business. And we just made that in one painting job. We were so excited we started brainstorming ways we could take our work even further and land bigger projects.
On that plane, we were so motivated. We spent hours drawing on our iPads. At one point, the flight attendant came over and she asked what we were doing. And we explained that we were here painting murals, et cetera, et cetera. And then she, like most people, she got very wide-eyed and excited about this. It's very typical when we explain that we're artists. It's like it's some sort of fairy tale. So then we showed her photos and explained how long these murals took, who the client was. And then she goes, wow, do you actually make money doing that? We were immediately brought down from our high.
I remember thinking to myself, wow, is this what it's always going to be like? No matter how successful we get, are we always going to have to justify what we do as more than just a hobby? Are we always going to have to stand up for the value of art? You would not believe how often strangers ask us how much money we make. Would you ever ask someone sitting next to you on a plane if they actually make money at their job? No one would ever ask an engineer or banker that question. And on that flight, that patronizing actually wasn't the flight attendant's fault, so we tried not to take it personally.
But it's hard not to take it personally when someone looks down on what you do, what you love. It seems like people relate that to a creative being worth less. The stereotype has been drilled into our heads since childhood. It's so deeply ingrained that it makes it hard for us to comprehend someone making a career out of art.
A starving artist. Starving. Think about that. That is so extreme, like not even reasonable or realistic whatsoever. And the entire thought process doesn't seem to make any sense. Art is everywhere in our world, yet it's discouraged as a career. Art is everywhere, and yet it's devalued as a career.
So we decided to do some research to figure out where the heck this whole starving artist thing came from. And as we researched, we learned something crazy.
We did it to ourselves.
That's right. We, the artists, are responsible for this stereotype. It's gotten a little confused over generations, as stereotypes have a tendency to do. But yes, it's our fault. As artists, we decided that we wanted to prove how dedicated we were to our art. So by doing that, we starved ourselves. And then this was how we proved our dedication.
As if accepting payment somehow took away from what they were creating.
And over a couple hundred years, it's gotten warped and perpetuated. And now we believe it. Now, when someone graduates from high school, they're quickly guided away from a creative career path.
It also got us thinking about success and the idea of making money as an artist. Why is that seen as such a bad thing? In every other industry, the more money you make, the more successful you are viewed to be. Yet as a creative, especially an artist, you're considered selling out. As artists, this makes us feel gross when it comes to money. We devalue ourselves because that's what the world tells us we deserve.
Whoever said we have to decide between monetary success and creative fulfillment? Maybe because success and fulfillment are rare. Did you know that 70% of Americans hate their jobs? 70%. That's insane.
College kids in the audience about to graduate soon, hate to break it to you. It's what you have to look forward to.
So maybe because it's so normal to hate your job, if you love yours, you feel like that will suffice. You don't deserve money too. But what if instead of 70% of people hating their jobs, how about 70, 80, 90% of people loving their jobs? What would that be like?
As artists, Phoebe and I have reached a level of success that we never even knew was possible. Yet all the time we get asked questions like, so what's your real job? How do you pay your bills? So this is your hobby, right? You would never ask your nurse that question. So what's your real job? You would never ask a mail person, teacher, bookkeeper, police officer, all kinds of jobs. You would never ask them that question because those are respected jobs that people can comprehend. Why is it so hard for the world to lend artists the same respect?
Not only are we surrounded by art, but art literally makes us happy. Looking at art blocks cortisol, which is a stress hormone. So this puts people at ease.
It's science, people.
Yeah. And us millennials have actually caught on to this. We consume more art than any other generation. So props to us.
So art spans every industry. It literally makes you happy through brain chemistry. Yet we discourage it, we question it, we disrespect it. It needs to stop. Imagine how much more beautiful our world would be if we celebrated each other's passions, if we encouraged artists instead of pushing them toward a safer option.
Children start to notice stereotypes between the ages of 3 and 5. So we actually have to start with our children, unlearn these stereotypes ourselves, and teach our youth the new normal.
It is our goal to help art and artists get the recognition and respect they deserve. We want for all artists to be seen as the professionals they are, not some generation of starving, penniless creatives dreaming of a real job. The only person that makes a choice between money and happiness is yourself. Those who can find both should be seen as inspirations to the rest of us. Arts are a respectable industry, not some collective of people who chose to forego financial success in order to pursue their passions. Duh, you can have both.
So if you're a parent, aunt, uncle, sister, brother, teacher, neighbor, coworker, secret lover, whoever you are, of someone who wants to pursue a creative career, encourage them. We can make this starving artist stereotype a thing of the past. It's 2019, and there are plenty of amazing artistic careers out there to feed their bellies.
They will figure it out.
They will find a stable income.
They will not starve.